Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. The sun, Surya Aditya, the greatest guru of human mind, at least for me. My dharma, the impeccable wisdom. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which the perfect object of the universe are designed and created. In the light of this, we are going to see Divyank, Akhand, as well as the sun in connection with impeccable wisdom. Aditya, as Chandogya Upanishad says very clear, Adityo Brahmate Adesha. That means the sun is Sakar Brahman, or this is the teaching, and that is what it is all about. And I do believe whether you call it Nirankar Nirgun Brahman as Surya, or Sakar Sargun Brahman as Surya, for me the Surya is my greatest teacher. I have learnt A to Z being on the solar system on the earth from Surya only, Aditya only, the sun god alone. A to Z of what I am talking about comes from sun and hidden wisdom of sun which world hasn't understood to the extent which I would like to share with. My perception, we can learn and master every aspect of spiritual science for sun Aditya alone. Our indwelling human soul is helium-4, which is formed in the core of Satya, the presiding data of solar system, and Brahmand. Our solar system, I call it Brahmand. Spiral galaxy of Milky Way also as a Brahman. There is a universe beyond that, which I call greater universe of Mahabrahmand, which comes from Adi Prashakti. We are going to see these concepts also at the same time. Aditi, human indwelling soul. Gayatri, the soul of the solar system or Brahmand, and Aditi, as well as Aditi solar system, Gayatri as spiral galaxy, and Adi Prashakti as Mahabrahmand or greater universe. They have three Paramatma, you can call it, Antaratma, you call it, and we are going to understand this concept very clearly. And I do know, Akhand, the symbol of integration is this, which also represents Surya right in the middle. What you see, the white circle within is sun. And all those lights which emerge from there, from inside out, are lights of Aditya, effulgence, or Sat Savitur Varenyam. I have understood Gayatri Mantra from this. I have understood A to Z also from this, and evolution to right up to Akhand Gayatri also comes from it. I have already explained in my earlier videos. This is a picture of Adi Prashakti, which has got 18 arms, and 18 arms represent 18 electrons, 18 protons, 18 neutrons within Aditi, from which you can see the picture down, from which the entire universe to start with started. I can associate with argon 36 or maybe argon 40. When it started originally, from there came Gayatri, and from which the solar system is developed. Let's not go into the greater universe, Adi Prashaktis. We will do that at a later date, but let's restrict ourselves to Gayatri and Sun, which are co-associated. Gayatri Mantra says very clear, Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat means that divine light, the nature, which comes from Adi Prashakti, is what nature is. But Sun is the presiding deity, is the effulgence with which we live, and that is Gayatri Mantra. From that we go. But in this particular picture, you can also see Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. There are three aspects of Gayatri which Adi Prashakti has given, and also every aspect is finally divided into three components. One becoming three, Trinity. Once a person is able to understand that concept, can understand Sanatan Dharma or ancient Indian wisdom to the best of my ability or everybody's ability, and what Vedas and Upanishads talk about it. That was Adi Prashakti. Now goddess Gayatri. As I say, the spiral galaxy has got 10.344 spirals. We know spiral galaxy has got 10 suns and little more, which makes our solar system. And our solar system, one of the 10 parts of spiral galaxy, is very clear in the picture, and also that is what is represented in Gayatri Mantra, which picture I have improvised in 1997, and also neon 21. You have protons 10, neutrons 11, electrons 10, and that is the light which Gayatri is talking about, and I have explained that also very clearly in my earlier videos. From that, let's come back to a saransh or essence of what is the relationship with respect to sun as such. Before the creation, I would say Nirankar Nirgun Brahman was neon 21. During the creation of the universe, Sakar Sargun Brahman was neon 22. They collided together to form the light, and from that light the whole universe is made. And that is represented in the periodic table, where you can see 7 periods and 18 groups. 18 groups is Adi Prashakti, and every concept is made of 7 parts. I've already explained. And the two things which stand out is the hydrogen is the first smallest element, and which I call Aditya, the sun. Because Aditya is the one in which hydrogen is converted into helium-4, which is a daughter of Aditi and also the mother of Aditya. That concept also explained very clearly, and that is what Vedas talks about it. Aditi is the mother of Daksha, the king of the solar system, which I mean sun, and she is also the daughter of Daksha, the king of the solar system. And Upanishads call it Aditi, Aditya, Aditi. That Aditi is the mother of Aditya and daughter of Aditya. It's a very beautiful concept I've already explained. So with respect to sun, we are clear in our approach. It is hydrogen and Aditi is helium. From that we can mathematically explain the concept of Rigved of Aditi as a mother and daughter of God, Daksha, is reality. Aditi as a mother and daughter of Aditya is also reality in Upanishads, and that is what I have explained. Now let's move. The first greatest element, smallest, is hydrogen, and I call it Aditya. This is the smallest. It is formed in the sun and is the monoatomic lightest element and the most abundant in the universe. 70% of baryonic mass contains one proton, one electron only. This is a basic unit of divine nature. It readily forms covalent compounds with most non-metallic elements. Most hydrogen exists in molecular form. It plays an important role in acid-base balance. So for that matter, entire universe creation started with hydrogen. And I would go, the one which is most important is benzene, CH4, from which everything has come. And then has got a power of 10. Then second important thing is water, HOH. It has also got the power of 10. But third molecule which is important from hydrogen is not hydrogen, but from carbon and oxygen in carbon dioxide. This is second stage, which is 22. It is not a surprising that these things come from hydrogen alone. Now, second is Aditya. Helium, Aditi is formed from Aditya, is becomes soul. It is the first inert dark matter of the nature and second abundant in the universe. Is the first abundant is hydrogen, Aditya. Second abundant is this, and which makes our energy as well as our indwelling soul. It has got 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and 2 electrons. And the first Nirankar Nirgun Brahman is, I would say, Aditi. The second could be Gayatri, which is neon. And third, the highest one, could be Adi Prashakti, which is argon. Now, this concept is very clear and can be easily seen that soul cannot be cut, burnt, dissolved. And that thing is again available only in that. And scriptures make it very clear. Anyone who's in tune with soul can be in tune with universal consciousness, and once he understands that, he can do wonders in life. And that's the beauty of hydrogen and helium. As I told you, Daksha, the king of that, is the statement which is Rigved. I have explained that. And God, the mother and daughter, which is in Upanishads, is also explained very clearly in my earlier statement. As I also explained that these things also talked about Atman, soul, or internet, and that is the description of Atma, and the same description of inert matter I have already explained, and this shows that everything is Atma, and everything comes from Atma, is sustained by Atma, dissolved in Atma. That is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, three aspects of Atma as such. They do cannot independently. The one who is able to understand Brahma as 22, 21, Vishnu as the 10 stages of development, and Shiva as a 0.34419 as the last concluding third stage, would know the universe as it is exists. And I've also explained that Aditya is hydrogen. It gets converted into Aditya, the helium, and what energy is produced, and how a small percentage of this, which is released from the sun, becomes our soul. And this beauty has been recognized by the ancient Indian sages, as well as Egyptians also at the same time. Pharaoh was supposed to, at the time of death, to say that he's gone back to the sun. And that is in Ten Commandments. And I really liked it. And that is statement I've seen 60 years ago. And it's still live in my mind, that statement. Okay, what is the significance of sun? As a presiding. Now the sun, let's start. As I told you, hydrogen, helium will burn the core. The surface temperature is 6000, and temperature is too hot for any biological life because the human temperature is only 37. So biological life cannot exist now because the temperature is very high. And that concept I have already explained. Now the sun and divine mother. Let's now understand some of the beauty. Approximate distance between sun and earth is 150 million kilometers. I have rounded it up and making astronomical unit as 15 million units. A diameter of sun is 1.34 million. And let me also make one thing very clear. All these figures which you find internet are approximate, not exactly the way it is. It could change a little bit here and there because they are evolving in the process. Average could be something like 1.3194. Now 150 million divided by this is very interesting. It is equivalent to 108. And 108 suns can fit in between sun and earth is a very interesting concept. No wonder we Hindus believe in a rosary Japamala 108 beads only. And I've also given the figure of Akash Kosh as pentagon with 5 angles, each 108, is also the beauty to be understood and appreciated when it comes to the spiritual science. The next part is Sun and the Mother Earth. I've shown it that the diameter of Sun is 13.194 kilometers. The diameter of Earth is 12,880 kilometers, and when this is divided is also 108. So we can easily say that divine design of nature, 108 Earths can fit on the surface of Sun. Is it a coincidence? No, because whole thing is designed with mathematical precision. Once we understand the precise, concise mathematician with respect to impeccable wisdom, we can understand that's the reason there is a consistency upstairs. And when we are in difficulty, we always look up because that's one is able to give us the impeccable wisdom which we need to be perfect within and perfect outside and lead a perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy life. If you want to be enlightened, you got to understand sun, real beauty of sun, and its relationship with moon and earth very clearly. Anyone who is able to understand sun as Pingala, Surya Nadi, and moon as Ida, the lunar Nadi, and earth as a medium in between, which we can call a vertical column or Sushumna Nadi, is a combination of three can make you evolve to the highest level, and within that are the 10.344 centers of consciousness or chakras. And once you're able to recognize from inside, you can see the entire universe as it is. Now there is another thing which I want to show, that sun has a north pole as well as south pole. And north pole moves to the south pole in 11 years, and south pole to the north 11 years. There is a cycle of 22 years. Is it a 22 years of sun going around itself a coincidence, or it is neon 22 again? And that is the light which I'm talking about. And I'm sure that would make a difference. And that is what I've tried to explain in this thing. And also something which I would say, solar calendar is 365.25 days and lunar calendar 354. The difference are 11 days. You can see in the calendar between lunar and solar system by and large. Next thing is the mystery of 360 degrees of a cycle. Once somebody asked me a question, how come sun is around and they're 360 degrees? Why they are not? Solar calendar is 365 days in a year. But I told them the lunar calendar is 354 days. You add put together, you'll find 360 days. And that's the difference. 11 days makes a wisdom. And that is the impeccable wisdom I'm talking about. Someone who's in tune with sun, is in tune with hydrogen, is in tune with Aditi, would know the solar system very clearly. And this was the answer which I don't think anybody has given, but I've explained. This is what is impeccable wisdom, or the solar or spiritual science by and large. Now there's the question of correlation of solar and calendar. I told you that they're in 11. But solar calendar is 365, so it's corrected once in 4 years. You have leap calendars once in 4 years. This 0.425 into 4 is 1, so it is rectified in the solar system. But lunar calendar is little more. It is not as precise as 354. 11 days there. So it gets corrected in once in 3 years. But the number of differences could be little different because it has to adjust to the 365.25 days. And that is corrected once in 3 years, not once in 4 years. So this is also science which people have observed and corrected. But correction could be only when you understand the concept very clearly, why there are certain differences, why astronomy has got, why astrology has certain things. But unfortunately, it is science. But our scientists are not as good as I want. And I'm trying to show how our astronomers understand astrology, or astrology understand astronomy, make it into pure science. You'll have a much better prediction about things. And I make it very clear. Human life is a journey of reincarnation. What we are doing today is a result of our previous thing. And that is reflected in astrology, that is in astronomy, that is in Akash Kosh. Once in tune that, you know it. You are an instrument. Once you become an instrument, you leave your identity. Soul will guide you to rise and rise to much higher level. And once we have that, we are in the spiritual side. Now there comes the question of that there's another aspect of Saturn and Sun which talk to a subsidiary. Interesting enough, there are 12 zodiac signs, we all know it, and each one lasts for 2.5 days because Saturn goes around the Sun in once in 30 years. Each is 2.5, and 3, one before, one during, and one later become important. So Saturn has influence on 7.5 years of our life. 2.5 very intense, but little more earlier. And that is also a beautiful point of science which I want the world to understand, that astrology are not talking of a fake world. They are talking of the pure science as it is. So the world can understand concept very, very clearly. And I have an astrologer very clearly, Rosie Dave, who's been talking, and I've been having discussion, and I've been telling her, show the world that astrology is not a fake subject, it is a pure science. We need to take astrology to the level that impeccable wisdom appears. Now, coming to the Saturn and Mercury thing is also something which I want to understand. The diameter is this kilometers, distance is this kilometers, astronomy is 50 units, and Sun and Mercury can be divided as a part of 4. These are 4 petals of Muladhara Chakra. And Venus is the second planet, and the ratio there it becomes 6, and there are 6 petals of Swadhisthana chakra. Becomes Mother Earth, and the distance of 150 million divided by 15 is 10. That's the petal of Navi chakra, Usha chakra, or the Earth by and large. First is 4, second 6, third is 10. You can see 4 plus 6 equivalent to 10 is a sequence which I call Divyank sequence. To the question of Mars, the distance is designed in such a way you get a figure of 16. And interesting enough, the Shuddhi chakra next in the line has a 16 petals. Say 4 plus 6, 10, 10, 6 plus 10 is 16. Again 4, 6, 10, 16. Again the ring sequence. Then Sun asteroid belt is the next one in the line, which I put it, it's not a formed planet as such, but is important body. It is 21, and that's what why Ajna Chakra is the one which is ill-defined, but it is the one which integrates. It has to be understood. It is 21. When it comes to the Sun and Jupiter is the Buddhi intelligence, and the ratio becomes almost like 50. And that is the number of petals of Vigyan Chakra. That's what I'm talking about. Ajna Chakra does not have 2 petals. It has got 21 petals. But Vigyan Chakra, which Sat Chakra does not talk about it, is the hypothalamus, and it is connected with Jupiter, and it's got 52 or 50 petals. I would go to the extent of 52 to be very precise and concise. Who is able to understand 52 can be in tune with the universe intelligently. And you will know hypothalamus, you will know the inner consciousness, integration by and large, and that is Jupiter, that is Vigyan, that is science. It's a pure science, mathematical. Third thing, you go to Saturn is the only one which, as I told you, it has round of 30. And here the difference is becomes 96. And that is number of petals, the Pragyan Chakra, which I am talking about, where Atma should go and enlighten pineal gland. And you see the Atma with pineal gland in the ventricles, Vaikunt. And that is realization of self-realization for the human consciousness to understand A to Z of human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology can be done with the help of Saturn and Pragyan Chakra within the ventricles with a pineal gland, and that's the beauty of 96, and that's it. Now, impeccable wisdom, let me Mercury and Muladhara are 4 petals, Venus Swadhisthana is 6 petals, Earth Navi is 10 petals, Mars Vishuddhi is 16 petals, Asteroid 21, Jupiter 50, Saturn 96. Can you see the beauty of mathematical precision? And that is what I'm talking about, Akhand. And that is the beauty of nature. Ancient Indian wisdom in the name of chakras, number of petals. And their association with planet is well defined, and I am glad I am able to show to the world something so precise. There is another dimension which I will talk it at a later date. Coming to this picture, same wisdom is there. I think it's enough for the day, and I'm sure once we are able to understand, we can move on to the next stage. Thank you very